Welcome back, everybody, to week 4. If you're new here, hi, welcome to This Cat Can Ball, the show where we highlight one player each week who's largely gone unknown, either to have been on the bench for a long time, been drafted late, or in some cases not even drafted at all. But they decided to show up this week, and we're giving them their moment in the spotlight. New thing for everyone, I keep forgetting to mention, I do have a Patreon. I'll have the link in the description below, patreon.com/OMG_media. And without further ado, let's do further. Let's talk about a few things. 32 teams in the league, right, as of going into week 5. Now, we only have one undefeated team, the Arizona Cardinals, who are pretty much pound for pound the best team in the league right now. Quarterback Kyler Murray is looking to be the front runner for MVP. And if he doesn't get that, he's probably just going to win the award for Fantasy Freak, because this guy is just killing it as far as points go. Running the ball, passing the ball for touchdowns. This guy is pretty much the ultimate weapon out there. He's dangerous.
Whole body's a weapon.
Speaking of dangerous, what are the odds that Urban Meyer is not going to finish out the season as head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? He's in some pretty hot water right now. If you haven't heard about it, then yeah, you are living under a rock. But he's gotten some hot water at his own bar, Urban Meyer's Pine House in Columbus, Ohio, where he was spotted with a young lady dancing up on him after losing to the Bengals and going 0-4. He's yet to win an NFL game now. Of course, he's a legend in college football. That seems to be a really big obstacle that a lot of coaches can't get over, going from the collegiate level to the pro level. Even, the great Nick Saban, he's arguably the greatest collegiate coach of all time. Didn't do so well in the pros. He was with the Dolphins for a while. They didn't have much success. Chip Kelly was another great coach in college, went to the NFL. He had moderate success. He went from the Oregon Ducks to the Eagles. There's a bird joke there, but I can't figure it out. The Ducks to Eagles didn't transition. Webbed feet. I don't know. But there's a whole list of coaches that didn't. Steve Spurrier, Bobby Petrino. This is going way back in the annals of the NFL, but it's just a common trend. There aren't very many that had success at both levels. There have actually been 3 coaches who have the prestigious honor of having a national title and a Super Bowl trophy. Most Cowboy fans should actually know 2 of these, because it's Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer, the third being Pete Carroll. It's kind of funny. AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play, everyone calls it Jerry World. Jerry Jones obviously being the owner of the Cowboys. I always thought it would be pretty funny, just for the sake of branding. If Barry Switzer had stayed in Dallas, he had stayed long enough to be revered to the level of like Tom Landry, right? Everyone holds Tom Landry so high in Dallas. If Switzer stayed there and got to that status, and they named the stadium after him, all right, check this out. What if, I would have liked to have seen the video game company Tecmo sponsoring a collegiate bowl game, and, Switzer's got a stadium, so they could potentially have the Tecmo Bowl played in Switzerland. I thought that'd be great to see. Maybe one day. Okay, let's move on from the bad and the probably never will happen to the good. Who's doing great this year? Sam Darnold, reborn again in Carolina. He's actually leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns, if you can believe that. Some people say he should change his name to Sam Newton. I don't know what it is about Carolina quarterbacks having a knack for finding the end zone, running the ball, but he's doing great for them. They did lose to Dallas, snapping their undefeated streak, but 3-1 still shows that they can be contenders. I think they can be. I think they're legit. Darnold, he's not the biggest guy like Cam Newton. Cam Newton's 6'5", 250. He's a unit at quarterback, and he's not the shifty small guy like I was talking about Kyler Murray, who, one of the great things for him being that short is that defenders, they simply can't see him behind the line. The offensive line guys are 6 feet plus, 6'5", 6'8". Kyler Murray has that element of surprise. You really don't know what side of the line he's going to come ducking out on. Plus, he's got speed to burn. That helps him just, rack up a lot of rushing yards on scrambles. Speaking of speed to burn and smaller athletes, that leads us to this week's cat that showed us that he could ball. And not only is he super fast, I think he's probably got the most badass name of anyone who's ever won this award. He might have the most badass name in the NFL right now. Javelin K. Guidry. Yeah, his first name is Javelin, and he's freaking fast. Let's talk about how fast he is compared to the other players. DK Metcalf in Seattle is known for being just a burner, right? Raheem Mostert in San Francisco is another just super fast guy. But, of course, when we talk about speed in the NFL, there's only one name that comes up. Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill ran a 4.2940 at the NFL Combine. It's ridiculous, right? Our boy Javelin also ran a 4.29. So these guys they're matched up. And despite this incredible speed, he still managed to somehow go undrafted. He was out of Utah. He's a cornerback, the first one we've had this year to win the award. And like I said, he's a smaller guy. He's 5'9", 191. And he eventually found his way on to the New York Jets. Appeared in 10 games, making a total of 22 tackles. And he actually had 4 forced fumbles in his first year as an undrafted corner, which is Pretty impressive for a corner. They're not usually that physical to be jarring the ball loose, but that's pretty good on him. Decent showing, not great, but pretty decent. So he comes into this season, right? And particularly this week 4 game, which was the first win for the Jets. And he was very instrumental, and I'm going to tell you why. He had 10 tackles going into the game, right? The first 3 weeks. And this game, he racked up another 10 just in this game alone. 9 of them were solo tackles. This is going to keep getting better, all right? 10 total tackles, 9 were solo, 7 were in the second half alone. And if you watch that game, well, I don't think anyone did. I don't think it was even televised in Tennessee. But because it's the Jets, right? But when it's overtime, the Jets won it because the Titans missed a field goal. Anyways, going to the second half, Javelin has 7 tackles. And get this, I keep bringing this up because he's a small guy, right? And who do the Titans have as running back? They got 6'3", 247-pound Derrick Henry. Javelin had 3 solo tackles on him. You know how hard that is? Even in the illustrious history of great corners, there's one guy who's considered probably the best corner ever lived. The biggest knock on him, and it's Deion Sanders, that's what I'm talking about. Probably the greatest cover corner of all time. Some people probably consider him the best corner to ever play the game. He was never very physical. I think he even outright says that he was just not one for tackling. Never really was. He could defend the ball like no one's business, but he was never one to get physical. This little guy, 5'9", 191, he has no problem going up against gigantic Derrick Henry. 3 solo tackles, and he got in on 2 assisted tackles on him as well. And if you've watched Derrick Henry in the past, he has a knack for showing up late in the game and making huge runs. I'm talking like 50, 60-yard touchdown runs. Didn't happen against the Jets, and Javelin's a big reason why. They got their first victory, the first one for rookie Zach Wilson, good for him. So the big showing like that against especially a big running back, taking him on 3 times and bringing him down, 10 total tackles. People are going to look at Javelin Guidry and say, this cat can ball, man. So that'll wrap it up for this week, folks. Really hope you liked the show. Do be sure to leave a like and a comment. That's the best way I can improve this, is to get feedback, to get interaction. It's also good for the algorithm. Also, like I said, I have my Patreon, patreon.com/OMG_media. Like and subscribe, hit the bell to be alerted whenever these come out. They do come out weekly. Just remember that little click is a small gesture on your part that means a lot to me. So once again, Javelin Guidry, our first cornerback for the year, takes home the award this week. Like, comment, subscribe, click the bell. I am Omar, and I will see you guys next week.